it's okay to pick up your phone and call somebody and ask for help. Many people are struggling, many people are going through pain, many people are going through a lot of stuff, and they feel that asking for help is a sign of weakness. No.
Hey, once more, welcome to the You Can Be Anything podcast. I am your host, Solange Che, and thank you for joining me today. It's been a fortnight, as I always say, and I am here with another amazing guest, somebody that I've read about, and I just feel so. I read about him and it feels like it's me, like, okay, this is good. At this age, you can accomplish this much, then we can all do it. That's why these are the kind of things that inspire the name of my podcast, You Can Be Anything podcast. So I'm here today with an amazing young man, Dr. Javnyuy Joybert. Thank you so much, Doc, for accepting my invitation and welcome to my platform.
Thank you so much, Solange, for having me, and it's so good to be here to chit chat, as you said.
Yes, this is a space where we chit chat, we talk about every and anything that impacts us as we go on this journey we call life. Yeah. So again, reading about you, I can bet that I cannot say, it's so hard to summarize who you are in my own words. And that is why I'm going to give you the mic. Now to please tell us a little bit about yourself. Who would you say Javnyuy Joybert is?
The most difficult thing to do is to talk about yourself. You can write about yourself, but talk about it gets to be challenging. But in simple terms, Joybert is a young professional trainer, consultant, entrepreneur, and I am very passionate about the work I do. And it is something I wake up every day excited, looking forward to do the work that I do. And maybe in the course of the chit chat, I'll get to say more things that the things that we've been able to do.
Yeah, awesome. That's great. So you say you're a trainer, you're a consultant, and you're also an entrepreneur. And can you tell us a little bit more about when you talk of a trainer, consultant, and entrepreneur? Can you just give us a synopsis of what this is about? What kind of people do you train, or what kind of consulting do you do? Just like a brief description of those roles.
All right. My forte cuts across productivity and business and corporate consulting. That's what I do full time in all of that. So I get to work a lot with entrepreneurs and corporate executives and people who just want to double productivity and produce better results. It could be increased sales, increased profitability, expand to new markets, and just push yourself to double the work that you do and of course, achieve a fulfilled result. So anything around corporate and business, all of that, we get to do that a lot. And our target market cuts across the African continent, and of course, work along the diaspora, but mostly Africans in diaspora want to invest back at home, in the Middle East back at home, and companies that want to come back into the continent and do some business. So we get to work with them in those areas.
Oh, great. That is interesting. When I hear of things like that, I know at my company, the company I work at, they're bringing people like you to talk to us about productivity and all of that and how we can get better. So I have an idea of the thing you're doing, but I'm not the person who does it. So that's nice. Talk to us a little bit about your background. How would you say all of this came about? Where did this stem from? So I just want you to talk a little bit about where your inspiration came from.
Well, I think that the work I do today, the full inspiration comes from my background, as you said. I always say that I am fortunate to do work or to create solutions around the problems I faced growing up. My mom had me while she was in secondary school in Form 4, and so you can what they say, kids born out of wedlock. I don't know that, and already from that background, you are already going to face a lot of challenges. You cannot go through school like a normal kid. You cannot afford school fees on time, textbooks on time, and a lot of stuff. When I was about to finish high school, I was so certain I would not go to the university because my mom could not afford that. So we were looking for options where I could learn a trade or something. Even while in primary school, when I was done with primary school, the plan was that I should become a carpenter, get into furniture. Nothing wrong with furniture guys. I mean, they're incredible people. But, that was just an escape route, to say, okay, since we cannot afford secondary education for you, I think you should learn a trade. But that was not my purpose. That was not my path. But thank God for the gift of family members who stepped in and decided to assist my mom to sponsor me through secondary school. So when I was done with high school, I could not continue university properly like any other kid would have loved to do. And that was when I decided to go back to Bamenda to do all the odd jobs you can think of. I enrolled at university, and I was never in class since I had to work during the day and raise fees for myself. So I've done commercial motorbike riding, car wash, building construction site, just anything legal that a young man can do to raise money, anything that I've done practically everything to make money for myself.
Yeah,
and that was
survival jobs. That's the spirit. Yeah.
Exactly. That was how I paid my tuition fee in the undergraduate level. And towards the last year of my undergraduate, that's how I got my first and only job I ever had. And and after that, in the course of that job, I had an inspiration because, and this takes me back to high school days. When I was done with high school, I started looking for a training institution that would train me for a few months or so and give me the skills, because I was ready for the job market, but I did not have the skills that can enable me compete in the job market. There's basically nothing you can do with a high school diploma in Cameroon. It's not skills to tell us. Yeah. So if I could see a school that could train me for a few months at a cheaper price or the lesser price, I would have gone to that school instead, to learn sales, marketing, digital marketing, finance clerk, office manager, those short things that could enable me to do that. Yeah. And that's why when I got my first job, that idea came back. And that was what led to me resigning from my finance job that I got to set up a training center with the aim of targeting young people like me who left high school and could not go to the university. And back then in my town, there were also guys who went to the university quite all right, but could not survive because of poverty, because their parents could not afford to keep them in the university. So they came back home, what they call university dropouts. Yeah. So, and the training center was turning around those people to provide them those what you can call employability skills and enterprise creation skills to support them to get back into the job market, start businesses. And that's one of my first institutions that I created in 2012. And up till now, we still do that particular work. So that's my background, and that's how I ventured into speaking and training and consulting and doing all that we do with different people across the continent.
This is amazing. The reason I love your story is because you use your experience to build a need that was existing, right? So because you found the need to learn a skill at a certain point in time, because yes, you could not afford university, and you said, okay, I want to be able to learn marketable skills, right? Skills that sometimes when I talk, so I have a podcast series called Upskilling or Reskilling. And the reason, one of the things that motivated that is just being able to remind people that, yes, let's look at a country like Cameroon. We go to school, as you say, with a high school diploma. There is not much you can do, even sometimes with a bachelor's degree. There are people out there with bachelor's degrees, and they they can barely do anything, right? And that is just, it's not our fault. I always put the blame on our curriculum and our educational system and stuff. But I always want to call on people to take that responsibility. And that is one of the things that attracted me towards you. Like taking that responsibility to say, okay, yes, you can go to university, or you might not even go to university, but you have that potential to learn a skill that you can even use to start your own business or maybe get employed if you want to work for someone else. So I really look at that, and it wows me. And thinking that you've been doing this since 2012, where was I in 2012? I think I was somewhere in UB about to complete my master's degree, still in that trend, and you already started doing stuff like this. It's a kudos to you. I give you accolades for that. Good job. Awesome. Yeah. So again, with this, when you train, how does the training go for you when you get these people who come into one of your programs and they learn a skill or so? Yeah. How do you do? Do you just train them and you let them out there to go look, or do you have like placement programs for them with companies that you can say, okay, this person has this skill? You can have a contract with a company to train people that they can hire. How does it work for you, especially in Cameroon?
Okay, we have what I like to call a COSDEV Group ecosystem. The name of my company is COSDEV Group Limited, and we currently have 17 employees that work for us. And it's called COSDEV Group because there are different subsidiaries that handle different things. But all of those stem up from the question that you have answered. Permit me, trainer, let me do practically. I hope you can see it. So this is just a branding tool that we have, which demonstrate our work. So this is the main company logo, COSDEV Group. This is the training center. So this is what I like to call the COSDEV ecosystem. Yeah. So we train you here at the training center, which is the first institution that I set up in 2012. Yeah. And we started noticing that when we graduate them or when they go through our training, some actually got jobs on their own, but some did not know how to look for jobs. Yeah. And that's how we set up weakerjobs.com. It's a job board and a Weaker Jobs and a career management firm. So here at Weaker Jobs, companies come and publish their jobs. We also source jobs and publish on this platform. And our trainees can look for jobs here and they apply. And companies also come to us. We have a very good name. I have a very good name in trading across the country. So many companies still run to me, oh, Joybert, I need an accountant, I need a marketer, I need this, I need that. We always come to our database and we recommend them. So anybody looking for jobs, we help them they get access to jobs here, internships, volunteering positions, anything that can keep them busy, because we don't encourage people to sit at home. We encourage them, if you don't have a job yet, look for where to volunteer, look for where to intern. Make sure that you are active in the ecosystem, don't just sit. Here, we also train people that want to start businesses. But when we train them, yes, a few are able to start business because they already have their capital, but some don't have the capital. And that's how we set up COSDEV Finance. So COSDEV Finance, through COSDEV Finance, we provide access to funding. We help them look for funding or grants that can enable them start up businesses in their various communities. And that's the work we've been able to do so far. So through COSDEV Finance so far, we have been able to help over 500 guys to access financing for their startup businesses across Cameroon. Weaker Jobs, sometimes we have 15,000 visits every month looking for jobs, and we provide recruitment services to about 2-3 companies every month to recruit from our ecosystem or outside our ecosystem. For Serviembi Africa, through our online trainings, over 6,000 people take our online courses every month across Africa. So this is the ecosystem. So you hardly get stranded if you pass through us. And people come to us for different reasons. Some just come because they want the skills and the knowledge to become better. Yeah. Some come because they're totally lost. They don't know what to do. They have ideas. They have nothing to do with it. We help them, provide them the support, the endorsements, the recommendations. Anywhere you find yourself, you can get the help that you need, and you can become successful in what you do. So that is the ecosystem that we have built.
I'm amazed, Doc, for real. I am amazed by
Asking
that question. I did not even realize that there was that whole ecosystem from the trainer and all the way to wicked jobs and the financing for business people. I bet you that I am amazed. And I've not heard of anything like this in Cameroon. You should be the only person that runs this kind of ecosystem, like a whole circle of this. This is amazing. I love what you do. And I just hope and wish that more and more young people can spend some time in spaces like yours, right? You can realize that, hey, it's true that we get out of university, out of college, we do not have those jobs. That is true. I was jobless in Cameroon as well. I wrote concourse and it hit me. I finally decided to go into a PhD program that I never completed. But again, I understand, I know the frustration that comes with our economy and having people like you run programs like this. I just wish that more and more young people or just people in general, because this thing learning a new skill is not age-based, right? You can be doing something else and you don't feel fulfilled where you are. You could be 40, 50. You just go and learn one of those skills that will put you in the job market and will just make your life better. And that is what I always push for. I'm so happy that we're talking about this and I can actually see a picture of you doing this, like a whole cycle of it. This is really, really good. Tell me about somebody that motivates you. What is somebody I wanted to talk about, when that one person that you say is your like an icon, a model? Who is that kind of a person to you? Because at your age and the way you think and the things you do, I want to hear who your icon or your model in this life is.
Well, I have a couple. And a couple of people that I really look up to. Them. I admire the kind of work that they do. But you know, my biggest person that I really celebrate is actually my mom, because despite the difficulties and despite the challenges, she, sometimes I wonder how she does it, but I have never grown up, I've never seen her in a sad face, that things are not going the way they should be. But she didn't have anything that makes sense. I mean, she was struggling that financially, that sometimes in a month when I was in high school, she could send me about 5,000 francs. How much is that for 2 months? So that was how much she could afford. But I have never seen her wearing a down face that life is difficult. And she's the one that taught me a lot about hope and always believing in future possibilities, and which is very, very important. And some of the most important values that I embody that still guide me a lot to today came from her. One time she told me that because we don't have, that doesn't give me the license to steal. And I had all the reasons to steal as somebody who lacked and was on the streets for some time, for a while, but I've never stolen. And she warned me about cigarettes. The day I see you with cigarettes, I'm disowning you. I've never taken cigarettes. I've never gone to a nightclub before, because she would, in Cameroon, when your mom says that wear one trouser today, if I catch you, you know what. So she embedded in me some of the best values. In our house, we did not to keep late nights. You don't come back home after 6 p.m. You will explain where you went to. See, today I don't keep late nights. So there's some things that by default my blood cannot accept, because I don't know what that means. I don't drink alcohol because it was a taboo.
Yeah.
My mom was that kind of mom that if you send her son to go buy alcohol, you're in trouble with her. You see? So
oh my God.
Those foundations, she laid a very strong foundation for us. And of course, the biggest gift that she gave me was God, to stay close to God. And mom, that kind of mom, that you're not in their house, whether you're where, she will still call you and ask. If she calls me today on a Sunday, she will ask me if I went to church. So, so she gave me the gift of God and knowing Jesus Christ for myself, and that's become a very big part of the work that I do as a professional. So those things that, those are some things that when we were kids, we felt that they were disturbing us from living our lives, but those were the real foundation that we needed to become the great people that we are destined to be in the society. And of
Yes,
course,
and if I may just cut you short there, you know what they say about train up a child the way they should grow. And when they are old, they will never depart from it. That is one thing that I started hearing from my dad when I was still like 7 years old. It was a phrase that ran around our house for a long time. And that is just what you have spoken about now. Like the core values that she put in you, you're still living them today and being proud of them.
Definitely.
I love that. Kudos to your mom.
Yeah, thank you so much. She's amazing. And then, of course, other people like Fusi Tembekwayo, he's a consultant in South Africa. He's an exceptional professional in the field, and I have a lot of respect for him. Tony Elumelu in Nigeria, he runs the foundation that he funds. He provides $100 million every year to fund entrepreneurs across the continent. There is a lot of audacity and a lot of love for the continent, and he inspires a lot and gives a lot of hope to other young Africans to believe that, you know, we can make it in Africa. And he is promoting this vision of Afri-capitalism, which is building businesses within the continent that can thrive at good places. Yeah, and of course, on every single day, you know, different things get to inspire us. And of course, the Holy Spirit is one of the best inspirations that we could get.
Oh man, this successful man, a man who knows God. You're blessed. This is great. This is great. And looking at this, I see that you have, when I was reading and looking at your portfolio, I saw all the awards you've taken and all the great people and great minds you've met and all the speaking gigs that you've had. What inspires, or how can I put this? When you have, let's say you have a speaking, like you need to speak somewhere, right? What are some of the things that you talk about? Is it like generally what you do at COSDEF, or do they pick like random topics and like have you more on training, entrepreneur and consulting, or do you do like motivational speaking as well?
Most of my speaking crisscross a lot more around industry expertise. So they mostly hire me to speak a lot around industry matters. It could be things like market entry strategies, digital transformation, the future of work in Africa, you know, all these industry key things that cut across the entrepreneurship ecosystem and business development and so on. So that's what I really focus on speaking about, and in areas that can push the African ecosystem ahead as far as business and the economy in general is concerned. Yeah.
Oh, great. And I also saw that you're an author. You've authored 5 books. Is that right? Yeah, great job on that. I was actually looking at one of them on Amazon. Congratulations on that. So all these 5 books that you've authored, these are all geared towards, let me let you talk about them.
Yeah, they are all for different reasons. I look at books like tools. Every book for me is like a tool to solve a particular problem. And my first ever book is called 35 Days of Redefining You for Success. The copies are finished. I don't have no sample copy in the office. And it is geared towards, because I noticed that a lot of young people in Africa, they have dreams, but very few of us have become the people that can make the dreams to happen. So the book is Redefining Yourself for Success. So bringing young people back to the foundation of building the kind of personality, the kind of character, the kind of attitude, and the kind of mentality that can qualify them to start making their dreams to happen. Everybody can dream, but very few people have done what it requires to make their dream to happen. I have a dream myself, but I need to pay the price. I need to do what it takes for me to get to where I need to be. I need to build capacity. I need to do everything possible to get there. So many people get to forget that particular part. That's why one of the most important questions I like to ask people who are coming for coaching or mentorship is, what are you willing to sacrifice to get to where you want to be? Because many people have where they want to be, but they have not made up their mind. Are you going to sacrifice sleep? Are you going to sacrifice leisure? Are you going to sacrifice friends, handouts, movies, whatever? For you to succeed, you have to do something. The truth is, to get to where some people have been, or to get to where I have been, it takes a lot of sacrifice, a lot of it.
Nobody sees the journey. People never see the process. They never look at the process.
They don't see that part.
Yes.
Yeah. And then the second book was From Average to Unforgettable, the one that is on Amazon. The rest is still on Amazon, but it's the second book, From Average to Unforgettable. Just as the name tells, From Average to Unforgettable, many people get to be very average, and they can become unforgettable. And this is based on also my story, because I believe that I was very average. When I share this story, people don't believe. In primary school, I was consistently last in class. In secondary school, I was last in class. In short, it was not certain I was going to pass the national exams in ordinary level, because I was that average and that unserious as far as education is concerned, and my future was not certain at all. So, and I was consistently promoted on trial. I was never promoted because I passed the exam. They just pity my mom.
Oh my God, you're funny. You just said promoted on trial. It's been a long time I heard that word.
So that was my story. And then looking at my background, all of that. But just a few years later, 10 years, 2 decades later, not 50 years, just a few years later, I am on global platforms from the Middle East to the US to Europe to BBC to CNN, all these platforms. And so what is the difference? What took me from an average young kid to being unforgettable in the work that I do? So I felt that it's good that I could share the daily hacks that people could practice. So it's structured in a way that you need to take the book like for 3 months. I love process, I love frameworks, I love structures, because I feel that way you get to understand something and so on. So you get to learn something every day for the next 3 months, and it can help you to practice. You learn and you practice, you learn and you practice, and before the third month, you should be able to cause some change. I mean, I've received incredible feedback from people around the world, how the book has transformed them and helped them to realize that they need to take responsibility and rise to the top. And then the next one is The Future of Work in Africa, which is the future of work in Africa. Yep. This is where I'm trying to anticipate. We're talking about the show on upskilling and reskilling and all of that.
Yeah.
I am very passionate about the future of work and contributing and helping the African talents to be ready for the future of work, because as of now, COVID-19 has fast-tracked the future of work in Africa, and many people are still not ready. Even our universities, they are not ready. Yeah. I was talking to university, I was telling them, if any university in Cameroon right now, if you are not teaching TikTok and social media videos as part of your marketing courses, you are not training your students right for the marketplace. If you run a banking and finance faculty and you're not teaching fintech and cryptocurrency and blockchain, you are way behind news. You are behind the marketplace. And if we don't raise this awareness, we will keep struggling, because our young people will not be ready to take advantage of the present and the future workforce. And then we have Tomorrow's Iconic Leaders. Just a very pocket book to help entrepreneurs and young leaders to know how to prepare, how to lead today and tomorrow. The way we used to lead 10 years ago is not the same way we can lead right now. The way we used to lead 5 years ago, right now, personally, I'm forced to lead a team in the office on site, and some are virtually. So it's not the same leadership style I need like I used to lead 5 years ago when everybody was in the same building.
That's right.
So of change, we need to educate our professionals to be aware that they need to readapt and relearn and upskill and reskill as much as they can to be ready. And then the other book is How to Begin, is to help people to crush procrastination. Many people are chief procrastination officers. They can procrastinate their destiny for 10 years. So, so I felt that I need to teach people how they can beat the game of procrastination and become chief execution officers. Many people call themselves CEOs, meanwhile they procrastinate a lot. So, and that's not right. But there are some tools and there are some systems that if you fit yourself in it, you can be able to hold yourself accountable and become a results-driven professional. So that's what all the books are about.
Wow, that's great knowledge put together on paper. That is really nice. I think I want to read from average to unforgettable. Yeah, I'm gonna get that. I think I want to read that. I love books that are maybe autobiography. I love human stories, right? Because there's always something to pick out from there. So that I'm gonna get on Amazon. So yes, so this is that point where after talking about the great things that you've done, I'm sure that anybody that knows you is probably already aware. For those who do not know you and will be listening to you talk for the first time, you are one force to reckon with. And that one person that if you don't know about, you want to go check and see what he's up to. So this is that point where, Doc, we come to you talking to my audience. Sometimes I sit here and I talk and I'm like, hey, 100, 1,000 people might not watch me, might not listen to me, but there is that one person that will listen to this episode and it's going to change their lives. It's going to change their mentality, their perspective, the way they look at life. And this is where I want you to please talk to that one person that cares to listen. Just a word of advice out there, please.
You know, this is a coincidence because today I shared from some of my materials, I shared something today on the life lessons I have learned from my entrepreneurial journey. And I would like to share 2 or 3 key lessons from there. I think there are about 8 that I shared today. I have more than maybe 20-something life lessons that I've learned in my journey in the last 11 years of doing this. And, you know, one of those things that I will ask people to do is, it's okay to pick up your phone and call somebody and ask for help. Many people are struggling, many people are going through pain, many people are going through a lot of stuff, and they feel that asking for help is a sign of weakness. No. Asking for help, what I've learned in business is I ask for help from friends, clients, and colleagues. Asking for help means that you understand that as a human being, you are limited. You're not omnipresent, you're not omniscient. Only God is that. So it's okay to pick up your phone and call someone and ask for help. It's not going to reduce you, but it's going to increase your capacity and it's going to make you a better person. And I went further to say, but you will only get the help depending on the context of the relationship. If you have a weak relationship with somebody, there are some people that if they call you now, Solange, you will move heaven and earth for them. But there are some people that if they call you, you tell them, no, sorry, I cannot help you. The difference is the context of the relationship. And that's why it's good to be valuable as a person, be valuable to people. Don't only collect, be a giver. Give time, give resources, give knowledge, give money, give in kind, give dresses, give clothes. Because no matter what we do, the covenant of seed time and harvest always exists. So stop expecting to harvest when you're able to sow that seed. Yes. So the second thing is, you know, live full and be happy. Have something that means a lot to you that makes you excited to wake up every morning. Many people are so miserable. They don't like waking up. They're not excited waking up, you know. But it's important to pick out something that can inspire you to wake up with joy and not wake up depressed. There are many people that wake up depressed already. Meanwhile, you are supposed to go to bed and rest and wake up refreshed. But many people wake up so depressed because they don't have that important thing in their mind or in their life that they excitedly wake up looking towards. It could be your wife, it could be your husband, it could be your kids, it could be your business, it could be your job, whatever, but look for something. Don't allow everything around you to depress you. Pick up something, because many people live life so miserable, and sometimes people feel as if God is going to wake up one morning and package life and say, this is life, start living. No, this is life right now. You know, that's why everything I do, I enjoy it. I mean, I am enjoying this chat with you. Yes. When I'm done, if I'm walking somewhere under the sun, I'm going to enjoy the sun. If I'm walking on the winter, I'm going to enjoy the winter, because that every minute, every second, every single day, that is the life that we are looking for. And the next thing is, I cannot say all of you are talking about skills. Let us learn to upskill and reskill. I believe that if you want to go to the next level, get the skills the next level requires. I always say that whatever you have in your bank account right now directly corresponds to your ability of value creation. And your value creation directly corresponds to your skill. Skill, value, money. So if your business is making just $1 million francs, $1 million right now, and you want to make 10 million francs or $10 million, your job is to get the knowledge, the skills, build the personality that can enable you to start making $10 million. You don't fast and pray for money. I'm a Christian, I preach in church, but I can tell you for free, you don't fast and pray for money. Money respects principles. Yep. Money respects systems and structures and all of these things. So no matter what you do, keep on upskilling. Don't be comfortable. I encourage people. You have an undergraduate degree, please go for an MBA, go for a master's degree. You have a master's degree, go for a doctorate degree. Keep on advancing. And that's the best thing that the best thing my mom gave me was the value for education. The only thing I could think that I could go and do odd jobs and get a BSc, get an MBA, and get a doctorate degree was because my mom instilled in me that education is the best thing I can give myself. Yeah. And for many people born in funny backgrounds like me, I believe that the fastest way to beat poverty is to get the right education. Yeah, when you do that, skill. A skill. Yes, and you do that and you build the right personality, you will go places. Even the Bible says that when you're good at what you do and you're skillful, kings and queens will come to your rising. It's as simple as that. Stop expecting people to come to you when you have nothing to offer. It's either you're valuable or you're not. The marketplace respects on the value. It doesn't pity you. That's one funny thing I like about the marketplace. It doesn't pity you. Yep. It respects on the value. What can you bring to the table? That's all. Whether you're born in a poor family, whether all your parents are dead, that is your problem. What can you bring to the table? So many people move around and carry this pity life, where they're coming from, all these challenges. We know, we're sorry about that. It's not, life happened. But if you want to go places, bring something to the table. Go for skills, learn, study, read books. You cannot claim to look for success. This is June 2022. The year is always going to have, you have not finished one book in your life and you want to succeed. How is that possible? You see, so we need to look at those things, and I believe that we were able to live life to the fullest and have fun, and of course, become better human beings and serve the continent, serve the country. And most importantly for us in Cameroon and Africa, we have a legacy to leave behind. Our parents messed up the continent. The present generation messed up the continent with bribery, corruption, stealing, all of these things. And they are handing us a country and a continent that is struggling. Yeah. It is our job and our responsibility to leave a better continent and a better country to the next generation coming after us. So whatever you do, whatever you and I do, let us be conscious that we have a lot of work to do, and it's not just about eating and growing old and then dying out. You should think about the next generation.
Yeah, this is good, Doctor. Thank you so much for sharing all of this. And what you just talked about, this is what we call tough love, right? Like telling people the truth. Like this is a reality. But you know what? Nobody cares about where you come from or how poor you were growing up. It's about what you bring to the table. That falls under my statements of tough love, and it's very powerful. I will not let you go until you need to say something fun. I want you to tell us one nice fun thing about your daughter before we close this up.
Yeah, my daughter is one of my closest buddies, and she is fun. I think the last encounter we had, she knows that I love success and I love to see her go places. So one time we were hanging out a few weeks ago, And she said, Daddy, I need a teacher. So I'm like, I need a home teacher. I'm like, why? Then the comment was that she took number 5. So she came fit in class. And she had never taken that kind of number before. She used to be first, second, third, and all of that. But now she took number 5. And she was like, I need a teacher. And I just started laughing. So, she was trying to bring me from the other way. She didn't come straight.
Yes.
So, but I'm proud of her every single day.
Yeah, that's nice. That is a good request. That is a good request from a daughter. They need to be home taught because they feel like they didn't do well enough in school. It doesn't come from many kids. So you should be very proud of her.
Definitely.
Oh, thank you so much, Dr. Javnyuy Joybert, for accepting my invitation. And thank you for spending this time with me. I appreciate you. And I hope that your words, my words, don't just fly out in the air, that somebody listens to us, assimilates this information, and actually puts it in use, right? Not just listen, but actually puts it to practice and ask questions, ask for help, just as you said. I appreciate every minute you've spent with me today. And thanks again for accepting my invitation.
Thank you for having me on this show. I had a great time.
Sure.